What is up, Finn fans? Another loss in the books, 31-6. At one point, I was like, it's 24-6. You know, that's only an 18-point loss. It's really great. Like, we're getting a little bit better week by week. But no, they gave up the rushing touchdown, which made it 31-6. It is better, though. 59-10, 43-0, now 31-6. I wrote some notes that I got on my computer here for this game. If you guys were following me on Twitter, which a good amount of you are, but again, don't feel like you need to, but if you want to, follow me on Twitter at DouglieDoWrong. I was tweeting out a little bit during the game, some of my thoughts. I wrote some of them down. But yeah, 31-6 loss. The first half, this team looked good. I'm not going to say great, but the Dolphins looked good. You know, the first half, we held them. We held them to... All right, there's a lot I want to talk about. So if I don't get to my notes, I will forget things. Like last video, I wanted to talk about Ginkle, and then I forgot to talk about it. And essentially, we have 3 players on injured reserve. 2 of them can come back. Ginkle's going to be one of them. Ginkle's a promising outside linebacker for the team. That's what I want to talk about with Ginkle. But let me just run down my list, right? The first thing I wrote down is the 3rd and 20 conversion by the defense. You cannot do that. This team is a young, inexperienced team. You can tell from the mistakes that they have done in this game. By halftime, we should have been winning. We should have been winning by halftime because of the dumb mistakes going on with this team. So I wrote that, and then it's blatantly obvious. It's blatantly obvious watching this whole game. Amari Cooper was Xavien Howard's dad. Plain and simple. Owned him the whole entire game throughout the game. To jump to conclusions and say Xavien Howard sucks, he's a bum, he's not elite, this, that, blah, 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 I'm going to be nice about it, but it just doesn't make any sense. Because you're going to tell me that Deion Sanders, you're going to tell me that Darrelle Revis, you're going to tell me that any of these top elite Hall of Fame corners, which I'm not calling Xavien Howard, but you're going to tell me they never have a bad game. You're going to tell me that Xavien Howard has one bad game, boom, he's instantly done, he sucks, I'm done with him, I want to move on. And that's where the mentality starts to be a toxic mentality. You have one bad game, all of a sudden you want to move on from them. All right, we'll move on from them, and then all of a sudden they do great on another team, and then you're bad-mouthing them, kind of like a player that did pretty decent today that everyone's already starting to bad-mouth him. But again, he's not on the team anymore, so I'm not going to talk about him. So Xavien Howard had a bad day today. Own up to it. You got to own up to it. Xavien Howard had a bad day today. He was getting completely owned by Amari Cooper, gave up 2 touchdowns to Amari Cooper. But you look at week 1, week 2, Marquise Brown was completely destroying people. You put Xavien Howard on him, he disappears. Antonio Brown is completely destroying people. You put Xavien Howard on him, he completely disappears. It's a bad game. If it's another bad game next week, then I'm going to be like, there's a problem, what's going on with Xavien Howard? If the trend continues, it's one bad game. Good corners, great corners have one bad game. I'm not looking too far into it. It was just a bad game. Amari Cooper's great at running routes. Xavien Howard has to cover this man for 9 years because we have no defensive line. Like, the defensive line was non-existent. I think we had 1 sack, and that's just because Dak Prescott held on to the ball for 9 years. And then finally one of our, Charles Harris got in. Or no, it was Taco. It was Taco Charlton got in and get the sack. Defensive line is just garbo. It's the pass rush is garbage. Christian Wilkins was, if you look at Christian Wilkins and you're looking at his one-on-one, he was doing very well this game. There's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can do. What else did I... Preston Williams, Josh Rosen, that connection was there. Josh Rosen, his play today was there. What did I say in the preview video for how to win the game? I said that they need to help out Josh Rosen. And if they would have helped out Josh Rosen, we would have won this game. But they didn't. Devontae Parker had a drop. I think the pass was at the 5-yard line. I think we were at the 10. Devontae Parker's running across the field, would have caught it and would have ran in for a touchdown. And he drops it. He drops it, which then in turn is the Kenyon Drake fumble, which I'll get to in a second. But he drops it. That's a touchdown that's dropped. Preston Williams. Now, I talked about this on Twitter, and a lot of people were like, that should have been reviewed. That was a touchdown. That was a touchdown. Ask Calvin Johnson if that was a touchdown. The rules in the end zone are different than the rules in the field. Essentially, and even Preston Williams, if you go back and on Twitter, I retweeted it, Preston Williams even said that wasn't a touchdown. He caught the ball, right? He got 1 foot, 2 foot. As his 3rd foot is coming down, the ball gets pushed out, and then he falls out of the back of the end zone. And I understand 2 feet used to be a touchdown. You get 2 feet in with the ball, doesn't matter what happens, it used to be a touchdown. Not anymore. You have to have the ball, take your 2 feet, and fall to the ground, still having control of the ball. Didn't happen, it wasn't a touchdown. Preston Williams, you gotta keep it in there. Catch it, bring it in, hold it, and then fall to the ground. He even said that he messed up. He should have held on to the ball a little longer. So that's another touchdown. That's 14 points left on the field. And then take Josh Sanders' missed 47-yard field goal. That's 17 points left on the field. 17. Before the last-minute touchdown, it was a 24-6 game. You take those 17 points and you put them on the field, that's 20 points. Because the field goal, when Preston Williams dropped the touchdown, we kicked the field goal. So 20-24. And you're going to tell me that the game wouldn't be completely different? You're going to tell me that the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have been calling something different because we're not calling the same aggressive, just pass plays? The defense did their job, guys. The defense did their job. Held the Dallas Cowboys to 10 points in the first half. Got an interception. Bobby McCain gets an interception on Dak Prescott. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, the defensive line, at one point, we sent 3. And it's just, you're killing me. Like, you were killing me there. The defensive line gets no pressure, so these quarterbacks can drop back and wait for these receivers to run the most outlandish, freakish routes and get open, and then we blame the corners that it keeps happening. Now, don't get me wrong. There was the touchdown pass where Marty Cooper ran across the field. That was straight up Xavien Howard, because he even got called for holding on it. He got beat on that. But to expect these corners to cover these wide receivers for so long, it's just, you can't. Defensive line needs to step up. So I'm looking at my list right now. Miami left points on the field with yada, yada, yada. Talked about that. No one's helping Rosen. Talked about that. The drops from everybody. It's just, Rosen was doing what he could out of nothing. He was doing what, it shows promise. Now, again, I'll talk about that because some of you guys in comment of the day were asking me about Rosen in the future. Again, I'll talk about that when I get there. But the Drake Ballage. So Drake fumbled, and a lot of people like that want Drake gone. A lot of people want Drake, they're done with Drake. I'm done with Drake. He fumbled. Again, in a critical situation, he fumbled. I'm done with him. I'm done. Drake is garbage. I need to trade him. But I didn't hear this. And I didn't hear the outpour from fans and other people. Again, I'm not going to pinpoint who these people are. For Ballage. When Ballage ducked the pass. Ball was thrown to him and he ducked it. Or the pass was to him, he tipped it up, caused the pick 6. I didn't hear this outrage and the need for Ballage to be gone and the need for, I'm done with Ballage, when Ballage caused these things. Got to keep it hand in hand. For me, Drake effed up. I'm pissed at Drake. You get within the 10-yard lines, you don't have the ball in one hand. You tuck it in. I don't care if you're trying to make a touchdown. I don't care if you're trying to make the play. It's on him. He messed up again, and he got benched for it for a series. You can't do that. But also, you got to be as critical with Ballage last week and the week before. Ballage has been struggling hard, real hard. In my eyes, let's see what Laird can do. Let's see what Gaskins can do. Put those guys on. Let's see what Walton can do. Put those guys in because these guys are struggling. But then also, the struggle is from this offensive line. It's just, it was anemic. Josh Rosen had no time to throw at all. Dak Prescott, was playing not great. If you took Prescott's line and give it to Rosen, we win that game. We win today's game, hands down. Because all of a sudden we go up by points and then our defense just, it's a different game. Instead of them just trying to run down our throats, instead of them trying to do something on offense, it's a different game. Like I said, 14 points, 17 points. It would have been 20-24 at some point. Different game, different atmosphere, different play calling, different defensive schemes. Let me see if I missed anything that I wanted to talk about. Drop still hurting Dolphins, 100%. Miami Dolphins left too many points, talked about that. No help for Rosen, I talked about that. It kills me. Dolphins were given 20 points, and they still lost. They still lost. They didn't cover the spread. That last touchdown, they didn't cover the spread. And it just, the defense can only do so much. The offense needs to start to get their stuff together. You can't score 10 points, 0 points, and 6 points in the first 3 games. You got to pull your head out of your ass and do something better. And that now it's not on the quarterback because Josh Rosen played really well today. Drop passes, fumbles, and bad offensive line play is what's killing me. And then there were some plays that I was like, it was like a 4th and 5 and you threw it for a yard. Don't call these plays where you have wide receivers running routes that take more than 2 seconds to throw if you know your quarterback is only getting 2 seconds to throw the ball. Have these wide receivers run slants. It is what it is. But be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm looking at the stats right now. Rosen went 18 for 39, 200 yards. Fitz came in. He did pretty well. He marched us down the field, helped. Drake, 13 rushes, 44 yards, 3.4 yards a carry. Rosen had the carry. Blige, 7 carries for 11 yards, 1.6 yards a carry. Preston Williams, again, they had that connection. Even Devontae Parker was getting there doing his thing. On the Cowboys side, you have that interception. But they just, Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, just 100 yards each. Just disgusting. No turnovers, though, besides that fumble, which is, you're seeing the team learn how to play together, and you're seeing the team mend and gel together, so you're seeing each game is getting better and better. But yeah, like I said, be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think of this game. Let me know what you guys think of what I had to say about the whole Drake Blige situation. Like, you got to be critical for both. I am super critical of Drake. He should not have fumbled. It was a huge mess up. He took points off the board. He can't be doing that. But also last week I was getting on Blige. Can't do one without the other is what I'm trying to say. Let me know what you guys think about the fact that offense needs to do something, but also Josh Rosen it was a spark. But you got to help him out. That's the thing I said in the preview. You got to help him out. But let me get to comment of the day. This one comes from Devil Dog, and he said, hashtag comment of the day. With week 3 in the books, what is your evaluation of our receivers thus far? Why do we continue to see these drop passes? And do you think Jakeem Grant should be benched for yet again dropped punts? Devil Dog, that's a great comment. And then I'm gonna answer one more just because I have the list in front of me. Yeah, that was a good one. Week 3, the receivers are just killing me here, but it also doesn't help that Albert Wilson's injured. He might not even come back to the Redskins game, because if he's still kind of like 80%, I wouldn't even rush him against the San Diego Chargers, have him rest 2 weeks, have him come back up against the Redskins. This is what you get with young receivers. This is what you get with these type of receivers, that they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle to get open. They're going to struggle to get off press coverage, struggle to run their routes because they're still young. Also, it doesn't help that Josh Rosen doesn't have time for them to run their routes, for the routes to develop, because he gets 3 to 4 seconds to throw the ball. It all correlates. It's the same thing with the defense. You know, we can get on the corners and the safeties and the linebackers as much as we want, but if the defensive line doesn't get pressure, the quarterback's literally, at one point, Dak Prescott, he was standing there for like 6 seconds, and then I think he eventually threw the interception there, which is hilarious. But you can't give him that much time, either side. So when it comes to my evaluation of our receivers thus far, they're young, but if the ball hits you in the hands, you got to catch it. There's no excuse. I'm not making excuses for anyone on this team anymore, especially after week 4. After 4 weeks of playing together, you should, no more excuses. And this game was winnable. By halftime, this game was winnable. Then they came out after halftime, and it seemed like they all took a nap and drank some warm milk, and it was a different team in halftime. Like I said, we should have been winning. Bare minimum. The fumble doesn't happen and Sanders makes his field goal, it's a 12-10 game. Bare minimum by halftime, we should have still been winning. You can't mess these things up. Like I said in the preview video, no mistakes. And then this one comes from Spectacular, or at DouglieDoWrong. He says to me, do you see progress each week with our team? I do. I do see progress with our team. I do see them mending and getting better. It's just the things that they need to do, and the things that can make this team, and I'm going to get a lot of laughter after what I'm about to say. I'm expecting it. If this team had a good offensive line and good defensive line, say this team had the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, and they had, who is the best pass rushing defensive line? Rams, or, just think of the best pass rushing defensive line that's constantly getting pressure after the quarterback and stopping the run. They had those 2 offense and defensive lines and still had the secondary, the linebackers, the safeties, right? Rowe, Tankersley, McTyer, even some of the guys that a lot of people were like, who the hell is this guy? And Bobby McCain, Wiltz, I'm not even telling Rashad Jones is back. We had that, and on the offense, we still had the receivers. We had, Albert Wilson still out, all that stuff. If we had these two offense and defensive lines, we'd be a 12-4 team. And you might be like, you're ridiculous, you're delusional, you have no idea how important the trenches are in football. And that's where it all starts. We need a better offense and defensive line. Because without that, it don't matter who's at quarterback. It don't matter who you have in the secondary. Nothing's going to happen. So, we're getting better. You can tell we're getting better. You can tell because last week it was 13-0 at halftime. Then it's 10-6 at halftime. We're getting better. It's the offense needs to start scoring. Once the offense starts scoring and gives the defense a break and gives the defense a lead to play a little bit differently, games are going to go a little bit better. But this was like the first time that I was sitting there like watching an actual competitive game, and then the wheels fell off like I tweeted out, and then I was like, it was fun while it lasted. But like I said, be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the game. Let me know what you guys think of the first half, what all the things I had to say about the drops, about the fumbles from Drake, which is still like it's killing me. Everything about, no one helping out Rosen, about the defense doing all it can, and then all of a sudden you just get tired. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about Xavien Howard struggling today. If you think he's overrated, all that stuff, comment below. Let me know what you think. I love reading you guys' comments. But other than that, I'm thinking about maybe going live tomorrow for the Monday night game. I'm trying to do a dual live with you guys on Facebook and Sportscaster. I'm going to try to figure that out. But if not, I will definitely make a video either tomorrow or Tuesday, and then we got the picks video, the preview for this San Diego Chargers game. And then the post game, hopefully we might pull out a win. We're getting closer to pulling out a win. Like I said, watching the Giants play, watching the Jets play, and watching the Bengals play, I think we'll win 3 games this year. Possibly 4 if we sweep the Jets. But other than that, I'll see you guys really soon. Like usual, stay classy. Fins up.